think there are very few people who have guidance and support from their seniors. And at Phoenix Legal, we have senior partners like Mr. Savan Singh, Mr. Saket Shukla, and Mr. Gautam Bhatikar, who are our pillars of support and strength. No wonder team at Phoenix is soaring heights, and very happy to be part of this team.
Hello and welcome everyone to our new Superlawyer YouTube interview. We are today here with very esteemed and knowledgeable Sneha Nanandkar. Welcome Sneha and thank you for agreeing to give this live interview to us. I would love to introduce her as an advocate and a solicitor with extensive experience of more than 14 years. She is well known in the fraternity with a deep understanding of laws. Sneha also has represented several high profile clients in international and domestic arbitrations, commercial dispute, and cross border transactions. I would request her to take the podium and tell us how and when she decided to become a lawyer, and that too, such accomplished one. Welcome, Sneha, and thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me over. I come from a non legal background. I'm the first generation lawyer. And in my family, we've always been encouraged to contribute towards the society. Right from childhood, I was motivated and inspired by my father, who's a forensic expert. He dealt with several sensitive and high profile cases. And that kind of inspired me to look into social causes and contribute towards them. My mother's a social worker and has also worked for the betterment of special kids. So I always wanted to be in a profession which is not only empowering but gave me a sense of purpose. And my horizons were further broadened when I joined my articles with Vivekananda and Company. And since then, I think with a enriching experience of 14 years, I continue to contribute to this profession as well as to the society wherever I can and whichever form I can.
So, we would like to also learn about the role of mentors and their guidance in your life because as you entered the field, how did you decide to become a litigation lawyer?
My journey into litigation has been an accident, I would say. I planned to be someone who was a social worker like my mother or a forensic expert like my father. But when I realized the power that legal profession has and the kind of impact that women can have in society as lawyers, I decided that I want to be a lawyer. And I think when you choose law, you have multiple options nowadays. You can go into niche areas like maritime or IPR, or you can practice as a criminal lawyer, or you can choose litigation. And I was fresh out of college, and my senior sent me to Bombay City Civil Court, and an honorable judge impelled me and my other opponent to argue a particular case. I distinctly remember both of us trying to wriggle out of the situation, saying that we will call our seniors and we will tell someone else to argue it, or maybe we can seek an adjournment like every junior does. I mean, it's memorable, but it was scary at that point of time. And I'm really, really grateful to that honorable judge and my senior, I would say, for that opportunity, because that is the day when litigation chose me and I have not looked back.
Amazing story. So, with this kind of extensive background involving litigation and especially dispute resolution, and that too in shipping, and variety of niche areas of law, we would request you to walk us through the kind of moments, the pivotal moments which are definitely there in your career that has solidified your passion for this kind of advocacy and to get that particular feel for this niche fields.
My foray into the legal profession has been not deliberate. The landscape was wide, and I would say it was a natural evolution guided by all the legal stalwarts. I have been lucky to have mentors who have guided me and they trained me to be an all rounder. Even choosing solicitors was something which my mentors helped me to choose. And I would say that as a lawyer, we all know that, okay, fine, you are supposed to know law, but its implementation has to be coupled with an out of box thinking. It has to be tailor made for the client's requirement. It has to be coupled with the right place, right time, analytical thinking. And only that is when you can, I think, as a lawyer, deliver to the client's satisfaction. So I started my career with Mr. Vivek Kantawala. After that, I ventured into the corporate world with classes law, and hence on, I am with Phoenix Legal today, which is a multi-service firm, and we cater to all sort of clients in India and abroad. So I think I've been very lucky to have this kind of guidance throughout my career, and very grateful for that, for the trust of my seniors.
While you were talking about Phoenix Legal, I would request you to walk us through the kind of things which you do at that particular firm and your current role there. Also, while representing these major shipping companies and financial institutions, how do you cater to such clients? If you can share that thought process also, it will be very beneficial for our learners.
Phoenix Legal is right now under the leadership of legal stalwarts like Mr. Saket Shukla, Mr. Gautam Bhatikar. Maritime and insurance, coupled with banking, finance, real estate, litigation, are the areas where Phoenix Legal caters to clients in India and abroad. Time is of essence when it comes to maritime, I would say. So, no matter which field it is, there are no shortcuts in law. But yes, expertise is something which is required, coupled with analytical thinking and out of box approach. So I would say that at Phoenix Legal, I have been lucky to have these kind of mentors. At the same time, we have that kind of exposure where we cater to multiple clients. Right now, we have been catering to clients in arbitration and disputes as well as cross border transactions. We also have several clients in white collar crime, and we are catering to these clients. I would say that as on date, I am handling these matters at Phoenix Legal.
So, when you are discussing about maritime laws and when you are working with Phoenix Legal, how have you catered the clients from such niche fields and the kind of challenges that you have faced? We would request you to share, if possible, some of the challenging cases that you have handled. And if you can share some learnings as well for our learners too, so that they can also try and think about picking such a niche field.
Definitely. As I mentioned earlier, when it comes to maritime laws, time is of essence. So, when it comes to a ship arrest, you need to know whether you are within the right territorial waters. I just handled one of the consumer matters with my partner, where the core question was whether jurisdiction within which the claim has been filed is correct. So, I would say that if you intend to choose maritime law or insurance sector, you need to be thorough with your nitty-gritties. You need to not only know your theory, but also the precedents in the practice area. And I would definitely recommend someone who intends to take maritime law or insurance to understand not only the impact of Indian laws, but also the global impact and the evolution that has been taking place.
You also have been very active in RERA tribunal and have handled many significant cases before NCLT and many other courts. How do you view the impact of RERA on the real estate sector, and what improvements would you suggest or would you expect in near future?
I would say that Maharashtra has been lucky to have RERA Act because that has resolved many disputes, many headaches for a layman. Because for a common man who has invested his hard earned money into a project or his dream home, I would rather put it that way, everything revolves around it and ends on that. So having disputes with builder, having redevelopment projects going on, where to implement, whether I will get possession of that particular flat or home within time. All these questions have been answered once RERA has been put in practice. So I would say that RERA has taken care of most of the queries, problems, and hurdles for a layman, and it has evolved over the period of time. Its implementation has been amazing. Execution is an area, of course, where we need more precedents, more hard implementations. Execution is where a common man gets stuck. कि अभी I've got an order, but then आगे क्या? What do I do after that? How do I do it rather? And one important and beneficial thing is that RERA hearings are online, so it's much more convenient for a layman to attend it to see what's happening. There's also an option of going for a mediation if the client wants to go for and settle it in an amicable manner. So I would say that impact of RERA has been immense in the field. It has been really, really useful for the common man. And as on date, I would say that we need more faith and a better infrastructure when it comes to implementation at the execution level.
Amazing. So the kind of experience and the track record that you also have extensive experience in ADR, alternate dispute resolution. How do you see its role evolving in the Indian legal system and with the recent developments, especially concerning commercial disputes?
When it comes to alternate dispute resolution, I would say that it was implemented in the first place to ensure that there is an expeditious yet effective disposal of all the disputes that are arising as on date. As we have heard, justice delayed is justice denied. So, alternate dispute resolution mechanisms like mediation, arbitration, conciliation give you that way out where you can, within a limited fixed period of time or in an amicable manner, resolve it between the parties. When it comes to arbitration, we have had developments and amendments in the past, which is why within a year, max to max, the prescribed allowed extension period, we can resolve our disputes via arbitration. We do have institutionalized arbitrations, which are really effective in India as well as in abroad. In fact, I have personally handled many of the domestic and international arbitrations. So, arbitration and conciliation and mediation would give you that way out where you need not worry about the time span, where you can be assured that an impartial person is dealing with your matter, and at the same time, you have expeditious disposal of your dispute. So, yes, this is the future, I would say, of legal arena, and people should definitely opt for these means before taking it. Like even the amendment in the Commercial Court Act right now, I would like to highlight it, says that before taking your matter to court, you need to opt for mediation. And if it doesn't work out, then you go for a legal case. So that is really helpful when it comes to a legal person as well as a layman. This is a very good development, and India is progressing towards it.
Wow. So, with your busy professional life, the one which you are discussing, I would request you to also share your hobbies and personal interests which you pursue in order to make sure that you have a work life balance in professional and personal sense, both.
I would say that as a legal professional, our life starts and ends with law. But yes, with this era that we are working in, where mental health has been of crucial importance, not only for your personal life, but also when it comes to your legal professional performances. So I tend to balance my life. And as I said, I've been extremely lucky to have always worked with such law firms or with such mentors who have always encouraged us to have that work life balance. So even at times where I understand that I have to work late hours, I do go home and I do meditate for a little bit of time. I also like to contribute on my weekends towards social causes. As I said, my family has been big on giving back to the society. So, working with NGOs or working with orphanage, or when it comes to making normal laymen or women aware of their rights, I contribute wherever I can. Singing is something which I enjoy. I've not learned it. Maybe after a period of time, I will do that.
Absolute versatile personality today we are interviewing, Sneha. Thank you so much for sharing such amazing views about your personal and professional work life balance. Considering this kind of experience in your professional life and your personal one where you learned so much, we would request you to share some of your career insights as well for our law students and law graduates or the ones who are going to embark their new legal journey. The kind of complexities that you may have gone through, what would be your suggestion to them and how they can make a name for themselves like you have already done?
I think this is of utmost importance, and it's the crucial question when it comes to choosing a particular area of law field. As a law student, if I have to go back 14 years back and I have to choose, I would advise my younger self that in this era of mindless herd mentality where people do not understand what drives them, what motivates them, and we randomly choose areas of practice, this ultimately leads to burnout. So, as a law student or as a legal professional who's just fresh out of college, I would say that you should determine in your first 3 years what drives you, what motivates you. Do you enjoy the vibrancy of the court? Are you comfortable being the center of attention in court and arguing a matter? Or are you comfortable drafting your documents and doing the advisory? This is of crucial importance because that will help you move forward, make informed decisions, and at the same time, you can also excel in your career. Because the burnout levels in any profession, I think, are result of a non-informed, and if the decision is not well thought, only then can it lead to burnout levels. So as a law student, understand what drives you, what motivates you, so that you can have that passion to move forward. And I think the key is not to trade your passion for glory, not to run behind money. Once your foundation, your knowledge is solidified, that is when you know that you can take a higher jump. I think that's the evolving trends and the developments that distract you, but you never should trade your passion for glory.
Thank you so much, Sneha, for such insightful interview. Best part is you are so multi-talented. I don't think interview can cover that up. But yes, we are looking forward to hearing more and more from you. And Sneha is absolutely reachable via her LinkedIn, through her mobile number, which is available on LinkedIn as well, and on email. You can connect with her. She's in Mumbai, and she is an absolutely multi-talented, multifaceted advocate. And thank you, Sneha, once again for accepting our invitation to appear here. It has been a wonderful interview today. Thank you so much. Thanks, Sneha.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me over.